Hello, everyone. Good day to all. Thank you for joining us today for this exciting new session from ordinary to extraordinary, where we share some of the ordinary actions which might have an impact on our journey in our career, in our life in general. So, today we have one of our very dear guest, Hani Al Subaidi, joining us. Welcome, Hani.
Thank you, Mr. Philly, for having me. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So I will just give a quick insight, not too many reading at this point, just to give a introduction of Hani. Hani is a senior level expert and leader specializing in leading and developing charities with practical exposure to charitable, humanitarian, and relief fields, and especially currently heading Make a Wish Foundation UAE as CEO, as well as his role as Secretary General Sheikh Hessa bint Mohammed Al Nahyan Award for Holy Quran. So it is a pleasure to welcome Hani again. So Hani, if I like to, in your role, if you can just highlight what are some of the regular work decisions you are involved in to give our audience a bit more context, it will be very helpful.
Absolutely, Mr. Philly. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be in this platform with you, sir. My teacher, the person who teach me a lot in the past. I'm a CEO to a nonprofit organization. It's called Make a Wish Foundation. It is an international organization that operates in around 50 countries around the world, and we are in charge about the UAE chapter. Our role is in this foundation is to work as a team to grant wishes for children who are suffering from life-threatening medical conditions. We try to give them hope, strength, and let them believe that they can defeat, critical illnesses like cancer, tumor, and give them a way or a path where they can start fight back for their own life against these type of diseases. So my daily role, it's not something that I can describe. In fact, our role is a non-routine role. We have non-routine job that every day we wake up on a new wishes for a new children, and sometimes children are keep changing the wishes. For example, for instance, today this morning we have a child. His wish was, for example, to have something, but today he changed it because he knew that Cristiano Ronaldo is coming to play a football game in Dubai. So he's changed his wish to meeting with Cristiano Ronaldo. So it is a very nice wish, but it needs a lot of coordinate. So we are managing the expectation that the wishes of children from different nationalities with different background and different, you know, religious beliefs, which is I think it's something that we all proud of. During the time of this foundation, Mr. Phoebe, from the day we started until this very date, we grant more than 7,000 wishes to more than 77 nationalities living in the country. And my role is not only in the UAE, but it also in other countries like Egypt. Okay, we are also granting wishes in Egypt as well as in Jordan and Yemen.
Mm. Mm. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for sharing us that interesting work which you are doing. And so now, I just want to thank him. I met him as a student. He's a curious learner, and it is a pleasant experience to have you in the sessions, and also the curiosity with the questions, the thoughts, and the discussion which we have always. Now, coming back, so he was working at that time. He was not just a student, so he was doing his sessions in the evening. So in the daytime, he was still involved with Make a Wish for a long period of time. So, Hani, can you take us back to the early days of your career. What was your first professional experience like, and how did it shape your ambition?
My first career was I was like working as a small administration in the UAE Red Crescent. That was in 2002. And through them I learned a lot, honestly, Mr. Phoebe. uh, Being with this big organization, and my role was inside the fundraise department, which is allow me to understand a lot about the fundraise and the media and the customer relationship and all these things. It wasn't an easy time by the time, by 2002, because by the time technology was very 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 low, and we used to count a lot on ourselves in so many ways. But it was something I love. It was truly something that I interested doing in order to do that. And I was believed that I was a lucky person, that God chose me in this position to help others.
Mm, mm. So, do you recollect some of the challenges, some of the ways in which your transition happened in that role? What are some of the guidances which you received when you started your first work? Any thoughts on that side?
See, at the beginning, I thought at least somebody will give me some lessons or guidelines how to do things, but it was no, it was difficult. It was do this, do that, finish this, and I was having no experience. What shall I do, guys? Somebody have to give me some guidelines. But because I started at the peak time, I started in Ramadan, so I used to watch my other colleagues how they work and try to copy paste them. And slowly, I moved from a small administration to assistant to somebody else. And honestly, Mr. Phoebe, my hunger, okay, to this type of positions and learning, okay, lead me to stay more than the other staff used to stay. So normally by the time the working hours was from 8 in the morning until 2 p.m., and then from 5 until 8. So I was staying every day from 8 until 8. So 12 hours, I was trying to learn myself to understand what others do. And slowly, let's say after 1 year, I was in charge about all the campaigns in the UAE. And after that, I was in charge about the fundraise, and I was like the assistant to the fundraise manager. And I was putting a cap to myself. I was telling myself, within 2005, I should leave this position to another position. And I was working very, very, very hard. And believe it or not, some of my colleagues, they were telling me, why you are working very hard? They don't pay you extra. You don't have any bonuses. So why you have to work very hard? I was trying to tell them that this is something I love and I'm doing this for myself. And whenever anybody in my department, Mr. Phoebe, used to go out for vacation, it was me who's replacing him, learning what
Mm.
he was doing, understanding. So after 3 years in 2005, when I left the Red Crescent, I was having a huge, huge experience about all departments, about all the stuff. And that opened the gate to me to move to another nonprofit organization.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, if you remember that, for example, was there a particular turning point in your career where you felt a significant shift in your direction or mindset? Was there any, uh, like you mentioned how to grow and setting the targets? Where is that coming from?
See, it start with me since I was a child. It starts from home. Okay. My both, my mom and dad, they were illiterate. They don't understand how to read and write, and I was counting on myself. So I was trying always to put goals since I was a child for myself and how to achieve these goals. Okay, I was always try to give my 200% everywhere I go, and that truly give me the right index to move on in my life. A lot of young people, Mr. Phoebe, whenever they start their journey, they don't give much. They believe, we're gonna start gradually, we're gonna move slowly, slowly, but it doesn't work like that. You have to be very, very open for all the educational, how we can learn from others around you, how we can get the knowledge and experience from the people who have gone through it. And at the same time, you have to do more than whatever you that your boss or your superior expect. So if your superior, for example, expect you to be here, it's always good for yourself to be in that level. That shows you that if you can do more, you can literally earn more. So it starts from home, it starts with myself, of course, guidelines from my parents, and also my teachers who were always in the school, try to push me, try to tell me, you can do that, you can do this. So if you believe in yourself, and if you believe that I can change things, you can do miracles.
Wow, that's interesting to hear, and that goal setting angle from a young age, and especially parents also trying to guide you in that process. So I think we all have our journeys and we all have obstacles. Is there any specific obstacle which you remember? Can you just tell us what that experience is like, not the people involved, but what it is like, and also which might have pushed you out of that comfort zone? Is that something coming to your mind?
Yes, yes, yes. In 2005, I moved to another nonprofit organization. It's an international organization called Life for Relief and Development, and it was a transition in my position. I became the fundraise manager, and after 6 months, I was promoted to be, the fundraise and the finance manager. And my first relief job. Okay, I went to Yemen in 2008. There was a lot of floods by that time in an area called Hadramaut, and when I saw what people suffer because of the crisis and the flood, okay, this is where I start to realize how lucky we are, and why we have to give more, and why it is so important to push ourselves, from the comfort area to an area we are able to secure ourselves, and to make sure that we will never ever be into that things. I have seen a lot of families, living on the street. I have seen a lot of people that they have lost everything. I have seen children who are keen to go back to study. I have seen a lot of people that they lost everything. And sometimes, Mr. Phoebe, these type of crisis, it is opening our eyes about a lot of things that maybe we don't want to see, or maybe something that we try to ignore it. It is there all the time, but we don't open our eyes. A lot of people believe that if I'm in my comfort area or my comfort zone, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna enjoy it. But if you don't have plan B, if you don't ready for tomorrow, see, there's always changes, challenges, obstacles in our life. It's part of our life. But if you are not ready for these things, if you are not matured enough, if you don't have the knowledge, the experience, then you will face a lot of difficulties. And I'm sure a lot of people who are following us have been seeing a lot of people, or they know a lot of people suffer during the pandemic. A lot of people, they lost their own, jobs or income during the pandemic, and some of them have to leave the country. But if you are on the same comfort zone or comfort area, you will never ever move to the outside. I have seen in a lot of relief jobs, I have seen it, Mr. Phoebe, a lot of people that in one day they were on top, on the other day they were like normal people. So whenever you see these things, whenever you see statistics about people around the world and what have these crises done to them, it gives you sometimes some hints, or open your eyes about, be ready for tomorrow. Work hard, learn more. A good friend of mine told me a long time ago, your network is your network. So we need to move from our comfort zone. We need really to work hard as long as we can, as long as we still have the ability to open doors, to be involved, because this is the network. It will stay with you forever, and it can take you to another dimension.
Thank you, Hani. You touched upon an important point on the network aspect. I remember now, like as youngsters, so they may not be able to understand the importance of network and how to maintain them, because they are now, maybe, these days people are mostly on their devices and more alone. So what way, for one, first question is, how can we build a network? Question number one. And second is, how can we continue maintaining that network? I like to dwell a bit more on that. Maybe if you can give some guidance for people.
Absolutely, 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 Mr. Phoebe. I'm here to help, to guide as much as we can. See, you need to have a strong relationship with a lot of people. You need to be very honest. People have to love you, to respect you. See, being to have a network, it doesn't mean that you should have a very network people. It can be your team, it can be your colleagues, it can be your superior, but you need to keep the network between you and them as much as you can. Okay, whenever you meet with your client, there is a says in Arabic. I'm gonna say it in Arabic, then I'm gonna say it in English. In Arabic, we said, Mr. Phoebe, ما يخرج من القلب يصل إلى القلب وما يخرج من اللسان لا يتعدى الآذان. It means whatever comes from your heart, it reaches to the other's heart, and whatever comes from your mouth, it barely reaches to the other's ears. So be honest. Okay, let people feel it, let people see it in your face. People will respect you, people will always remember you. Do good to others. Be positive with everyone. Just try to be good with everyone. People will remember this forever. Your colleague, your co-workers who move on with time, go from one position to other positions. Okay, with time he will start to know you, to meet you, introduce you to other people. This is where people will start you will start to build your own reputation. People will start to know about you. If you are, for example, if you are a banker, if you're doing a lot of advices to people, try to guide people how to do things, people will start to talk to you positively. And then you will start to meet with other clients, and clients will let you know to other clients, and so until you will start to build a network. Since you have a mobile, since you have social media, you can easily be in touch with people every now and then. It's not a must that you should communicate with them, whenever you need something from them. But for example, if you are a banker and there is a new promotion, you can create, for example, a podcast on your WhatsApp and send it to everybody. Hello, everybody. This is so and so. We have this product. If you are interested, let me know. Okay. It's so normal that if I'm happy with you and I know somebody, my relative or something, I will guide them to you. If you can help them, if you can do something good for them, that will give you a strong reputation. And with time, this reputation will be bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more people you know, the more people can trust you. You can do miracles. It will help you in your professional, life, in your professional career. It will help you even on your personal level. Because I know personally a lot of people that they moved from one level to another level because of this network.
Mm. Thank you. That's an insightful sharing from how we build network and how to cherish and continue to build on that network. Thanks for bringing that. I think that actually lead to uh, again, as we progress our discussion. One question was, what was most valuable lesson you learned about personal or professional growth. I think this can be connected to that. And uh, if I ask you a question, how did that learning influence your approach to work and life?
Sorry, Mr. Phoebe, I think I lost the connection. If you can repeat that question again.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the question is, how did that lesson
Yeah.
influenced your approach to work and life?
A lot, a lot. See, I was doing a lot of favor to a lot of people, based on my knowledge. It's non-profit, okay. Unfortunately, there is no books about non-profit. There is no colleges who can teach you, but you earn it by experience. So whatever experience I was having, I was giving to other for free. I used to go to non-profit, give them a lot of lectures, guide them, build database with them. So that give me a lot of chances to work as a consultant to a lot of nonprofit. One of them is Make a Wish. I was a consultant for some time. Then I was on the board, and then they elect me to be the CEO. So the more good you are, the more you can give to people, to the people around you, the good will come back to you. See,
Mm.
it is like that. Give good, you receive good. You know, give chances, you will receive a lot of chances. Help people, other people will help you. As simple as that. Be honest, have a good heart, and work very hard. These are truly, truly what make me today, whomever I am today. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I'm always straightforward, I'm always try to help as much as I can, even if it's in the evening, in the morning. I try always to give advices to a lot of people. I tried to build my own team. Some of my team now they became managers in other entities, which is I'm so happy. You know, so it is about how you can be a good example to others, Mr. Phoebe.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I like to know, that story of transition to make a wish, if you can.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes. In fact, I was working for this nonprofit organization. It's called Life for Relief and Development in Dubai, and Make a Wish office was by the time in Dubai as well, in something called International Humanitarian City. So in one of the meetings where they gather all the nonprofit organization, the previous CEO to Make a Wish, she was looking for me, and she told me, "You are Mr. Hani. I heard that you are helping other nonprofit organization. I need your help." So I sat with her and guide her how to do something. And then she told me, "I'm creating a new board. Are you interested to come on board?" I said, "No, I'm not interested. I'm here just to help." And she was following me and following me. She was insisting. And after 2 months, I accept the role as a board member in Make a Wish. And my role was like mainly about fundraise and opening doors as a CEO, as sorry, as a board member. But after some time, we discovered that the CEO has been hired was not doing the job, so we terminated him, and the board put me as an acting CEO until they find a new CEO. And in one of the board meetings, after some times, the chairman, Her Highness Sheikha bin Saif bin Mohammed Al Nahyan, she is the wife of Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Khalifa bin Zayed, advisory to the President of the Arab Emirates. She said, "We'll never find somebody like you." So she elected me to be the CEO, and that was in 2012. And since that time, I'm the CEO, and I'm so proudly to say that since that time we have been done a lot of amazing job, not only here but all over the world.
Thank you. That is an inspiring story, Hani, for sharing that.
But see, again and again, Mr. Phoebe, I think the success of being a CEO, it's about work very hard, always exceed the expectation, and just be honest. I remember a story that I truly, if you allow me to share it with you.
Go
Um,
ahead.
yes, I think that was in 2010, 2011, something like that, where the chairman she allocate some jobs to all of us, and by that time I was much more excited, and I put a huge expectation, and I told my boss that within 1 year we can reach into that level, and I did not consider. other factors, like things might happen around us or something like that. And I was trying my best to achieve my goal, but after 12 months I failed. So on the actual day, we as a board, we supposed to come and we supposed to present what have we done in 1 year. So by that time, my colleagues, none of us achieved anything. We were trying, but some of us achieved 20% or 30%. So each one of them was trying, to say that I achieved this, I achieved that in a very glamour way, but they don't mention the others, failed. When my time come, I just stand up and I told my boss that, I want to apologize from you and from everybody. I was having a huge expectation. My expectation was incorrect. I was unable to achieve my goals. I failed. I do apologize, and I want to step down from my position and to leave it to somebody else. And I was really surprised that my boss told me that, you are the first one to say I did a mistake. And because you are honest, we're not going to find somebody to run this foundation but you. And she appointed me as a CEO. She told me, now you can learn from your mistakes. And being in that position, it gave me an indicate that even if I failed. We always see nobody, Mr. Phoebe, will move directly, up. We always going up and down, but we need to fail sometime because this is the nature of life. But we need to learn from mistakes so we can move on and move on and move on.
Thank you. That's a powerful story for for all of us to listen to. Yeah, so I appreciate for sharing that. Uh, I think you brought in that story, your leadership philosophy too, as you inspire and guide others towards success. Thank you for that. Now, I have a question.
Yes.
Like, the world of work is constantly evolving. How have you managed to stay adaptable and ahead in this sector as you have seen the years go by?
I think, Mr. Phoebe, that in my philosophy, there is always one word that I always tell everybody in the office to do it. Ask, then ask, then ask. See, to develop, you need to ask. You need to see, what have done in a technology. Who, the sexist people, how they are sexist. You need to read. You need to develop yourself. You need to educate yourself to be able to move on and to move on to move on. As non-profit organization, there is a lot of challenges every day. Rules are changing. You deal with sick children. You need to know your environment. You need to have a good knowledge. You need to understand what is the goals of the country whenever it comes to humanitarian. So by learning, by understanding, by education myself as much as I can, I can lift my foundation from one level to another level, and then we can deal with it, and then take it to another level and try to deal with it, and move on and move on and move on. So nobody can be successful, in my point of view, without keep learning. So you need to learn from other experience. You need to gain knowledge from others. You need to see what is the most successful methods in other countries or in in some other competition companies, and then you can take it and adapt it according to your need, according to your to your philosophy, and learn from it. See, I know that there are some other non-profit organization in the country. They are much more bigger than us. But because we are much more learning and developing, a lot of people know about us than they know about them. So I think, Mr. Phoebe, nobody can stay without learning, educational, and ask. So if you want to develop yourself, if you want to move on, ask, learn, move.
That's an interesting ask. And again, audience who are listening, feel free if you have any questions, ask it
Please, yeah.
now. We have only a few more minutes as we progress in this conversation. So thank you, Annie, for that. Now, again, you shared your values and principles in this discussion. So one thing which I just want to ask at this point is, um, what are the opportunities of, if you see charitable organization, what are the opportunities for people to work in such organization in UAE and beyond? What are some of the ways in which people work in non-profits? If you can throw some light on that.
Sure, sure. See, the nonprofit organization is one of the field that it's growing up every year. Okay, it has two ways: collect funds and give to the needy. As simple as that. And every year we are struggling to have professional people in this field. You know, and the good thing is, the majority of us, we are always looking for the easy person who know the rules and regulation. So let me give you some example about these things. We used to have one of the staff. She worked with us for like 3 years. She knows everything about us. She knows everything about the professional that she is doing, and because she's very good, she started to receive opportunities from outside. And believe it or not, she moved to one of the other nonprofit organization with a triple of what we used to pay her, which is, I'm so happy for her. So I think the nonprofit organization is so promising, Mr. Phoebe, especially now with in Abu Dhabi we have something called DCD, Department of Community Development. They are now allowing other nonprofit organization to operate and to fundraise in Abu Dhabi. So I believe in the next 5 to 6 years, the nonprofit organization will have a huge, huge impact, not only in Abu Dhabi Emirate, but all over the country and all over the world. A lot of people who are working here in the UAE, they end up, if they are really good, they end up moving to the UN on a very prestige and high positions because they know the knowledge, they know the experience, they know the how, and they move from there to another nonprofit organization. So it is a field that maybe not a lot of people focusing on, but if you focus and you are succeed, you will have a lot of opportunities, especially in the UN sector as well as non-international profit organization. So it will be good if they can apply through non-profit organization. There is a lot of vacancies every now and then, especially in the beginning of every year. Okay, the majority of fields that nonprofit organization always looking for is, for example, people related to social media, or for example, people related to business development. Okay, project manager. It's vary from one profit to non-profit. It's vary from one project to other project. So these type of sectors that always have turn over, that people come understand and then be moved. So there's always a need into these positions.
Thank you, Hani. And I know we are closing on with the time. So, for someone's who just starting out or navigating through a crossroad, sometimes they are having,
Yeah.
like for example, layoff, or a space where they are not having work. What advice would you offer?
See, if I had a chance to go back and, let's say, do something more, I could do one advice to them. Really, believe in yourself. Always, you need to believe in yourself. You need to develop yourself. You need to work hard on yourself. 20 years ago when I start my career, positions was not as competition was not as now. Nowadays, there is a lot of fresh graduate looking for opportunities, much more than before, and a lot of them might not believe in themselves because of a lot of factors. It took me some time because my colleague by the time in some areas they was trying to disappoint me. No, you cannot do this. It's so difficult. No, and I listened to them for some time. But honestly, Mr. Phoebe, if I can give an advice to anybody, even I give this to my kids, you know, believe in yourself. Believe that you are capable to reach to the stars. Okay, don't put any beyond to your dreams. Always dream big, dream higher, because this is what makes you special. You know, if you dream small, you'll always be small. You know, if you believe in others' word, you will never move on. You know, always believe that you can move things. Believe in miracles, you know, because at the end, we all have that spark inside us. And if you make that spark bigger and bigger and bigger, you can reach the stars.
Thank you, Hani. I think this is a appropriate thought process to close our session from ordinary to extraordinary. And you have shared a lot of ordinary thing. One important one which I like ask. I ask you to be. Can you be part of this one? Or
Always my
I
pleasure,
remember
Mr. Phoebe.
I remember you when you reached out. Will you be able to join the CSR committee? You were willing to do that. So, thank you, Hani, for all these sharing stories and inspiring us with your journey. And I hope our audience also might have enjoyed it. Yeah, and if there is any question, please feel free to raise it in the chat. We will get you answered separately. So thanks again. We are closing the day. See you with another guest next time.